Hey boys, it's your daddy. Today we're gonna talk about Tangled heritage. Um, the reason I did the Tangled part is no, not because of the animated show or whatever. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you are um, biracial. So you're gonna, and I apologize now for your tangled hair. It's not gonna be easy to deal with. Most of you or Cass are probably Romeo or Cass. Sorry, boys, whichever one is watching this. One of you or both of you probably will like more than likely keep your hair short because of that reason. Just want to let you know I always have kept my hair long. I've only shaved it on a few occasions, special reasons usually. I kept it long because I always felt shaving your head bald was the easy way out. That's just what kind of hairstyle is bald. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some guys look good bald. Some women actually look cute bald. But Captain Picard, everybody loves him bald. I mean, can't imagine Captain Picard, Patrick Stewart with hair. It just would be weird. But I can't imagine William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk, being bald. He looked like a private part. Let's leave it at that. Anyways, no, I just wanted to talk about your heritage a little bit. Now, I'm only speaking from the side I know. I don't know a lot about the other side. I don't want to speculate, don't want to assume, don't want to say something wrong. So this heritage is only coming from my side of the family. So here we go. Um, Heritage from my side. I am 1/8 Japanese. Konnichiwa. So you guys are technically 1/16, I believe. Japanese is what that makes you. So you don't have a lot of Japanese in you, but some of your features. I already started to see your face shape wrong. You look just like me as a little boy. It's a lot light skin, a lot brighter. But yeah, so if you wonder why you got some non-traditional black features, it might be a little bit of that Japanese kicking in. Yeah, like I said, your grandfather was half Japanese. He was actually born in Japan, as far as I've been told. Um, but from him on down, he met my your great grandmother. Yeah, great grandmother. No, my mom. Met your grandma. Sorry, there you go. No, because grandma, it'd be great grandma. Yeah, he met your great grandma, in Oklahoma. So that's a long story, but pretty much after that, it's just Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. So your grandma born in Oklahoma. I was born in Oklahoma. Um, then lived most of my life in Washington. Came back down here to try to get you some Texas tough values, but we'll talk about that probably in another video if I haven't touched on it already. But no, so you are Romeo. You were born in Washington State. You are not born in Oklahoma. And Cass, you were born in Texas. You are Texas tough already. So yeah, you guys were born in two different states. Little people know a little hidden fact. I don't think I'm spoiling nothing really by saying this. We were hoping that when the next one was born, it's going to be born in a different state. We weren't planning on moving, but we actually were trying to see. I know we're silly. We were dreamers. We were trying to hope that maybe if we took a trip to Disneyland or Disney World, one of you could be born while we're there. We were also thinking about maybe one of you being born in Vegas if possible. We'd go there, the week of, and maybe even next one in neighboring states because where we are now, we're pretty close to Arkansas and one, let's say Louisiana, and obviously um, 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 Oklahoma. But I didn't want to do that again. Nothing against Oklahoma. It's just I was born there. We're just trying to get everybody born in different states. We thought it'd be kind of fun, kind of cool little fun fact. People, I mean, it's an icebreaker. People start asking you like, "Wait, you're born in Washington? You're born in Texas? Was your dad in the military?" It's a little icebreaker. It helps make conversations a lot easier. But yeah, we were dreamers. Anyways, though, so a little bit more about your heritage, though. Like I say, your that's on your grandma's side. That's what I've told you so far. Now, on your grandfather's side, he was born in Kansas, Kansas State, and Kansas City. I believe it's Kansas City. Well, I know it's Kansas. Um, he actually is what probably one of the last. well, was one of the last living people who actually grew up on a plantation. Now, I know some people, or you guys might even wonder this when you're watching it. Some people watching it might go, "Ain't nobody live on no plantation in 1900." No, they did. um, when slavery ended, it wasn't like now, where if say right now, what would be in uh, Disneyland burns down. Well, it would make the news instantly. It'd be all over the news. If there's a new law that was passed that says black people are getting their 40 acres and a mule, okay, it would be all over the news instantly. The government buildings be ready, prepared to give us our our can't say reparations. Yeah, that's it. They'd be ready to do it. But back then, there was no internet. Okay, there was no postal service like it is now, where people drove around trucks and flew things and plane. No, it was word of mouth. Okay, so when slavery was over, it wasn't over. The military had to go back. A lot of people don't talk about this in history books, but the U.S. military had to like really ride around and let people know this has happened and enforce it. Like you have to let them free now. And it still didn't happen. I mean, come on, man. You really think that if you had just bought like 10 slaves like 2 days prior and someone showed up on your property a week later, or 2 days prior, and I don't know if you know the new law, but you have to free them. You're like, I spent $6 on these. I just spent $6 on these 10 slaves. I ain't giving them up. Are you crazy? So people be, pull out the guns because back then, gun laws were a little bit more lax. So, people had probably got shot because, I mean, if you didn't get the message, you didn't get the message. If a person came out by himself, dumb enough to tell you, you knock on your door and tell you got to get rid of your 100 slaves, well, someone was probably buried in the backyard that day. you and then when the government guy comes back in, like, oh no, we never saw him. He never came. What? Who said what slaves are free? I never heard nothing like. And then unless they came out like 20 deep, you weren't giving up your slaves, and even then you probably had some couple gunfights and stuff. So, um, when slaves were freed on a certain day, it didn't happen instantly, and even then, people who are in control don't like giving up that control. Um, that's just how people are by nature. So when the slaves were free and it became pretty much widespread knowledge, about 40, 50 years later, the people still found ways around it. And that was called indentured servants. Um, it's made sense to a lot of people. And if you think about the terminology of it, if I give you a roof and food, you're indentured servant to me because you owe me. You're in debt to me, and so you're gonna work it off. And once you work it off, oh, you can go. But I keep adding stuff to it. You know, oh that field you cleared out there, that was for last month's rent. How you paying for next month's rent? And so they did stuff like that. And so my father, your grandfather, actually, when I think he said when he was 4 or 5 years old is when he finally was able to leave there, and he remember missing the first year he could go to school because there were still crops to be picked. And while the family weren't technically slaves, they weren't beat for not picking cotton or whatever it was. They weren't, you know, able to be punished and kicked out, or no. Well, they were able to get kicked out. That's what he said. He said they had to literally. He was about to get ready for school, and they came and said, "No, he needs to stay here because if he doesn't, then you won't be able to pick up the stuff as fast." And he helps with the stuff on the ground or something like that. And these crops they need to be picked by a certain date. So no, he cannot go to school. You don't need to keep him here until these crops are done. And so I think he's like 5, as we said when that happened. And so next year at 6, they sent him away before crop season, so it wouldn't happen again. And that's how his life started. So yeah, he lived on a plantation. And again, someone who's silly enough to say plantations don't exist. Well, they exist now as historical sites. You still drive by, especially down south, far to the south. These some beautiful buildings. I mean, they're probably got some horror stories attached to them, but they're amazing properties. They're still maintained, which kind of a mixed feeling on it. It's like I'm not gonna pretend to know a lot about what happened in Germany with the Holocaust and stuff. I didn't pay much attention. I'm be honest with you, but I know that like I think it's Auschwitz or something like that. How they say it. um, some POW camp where horrible stuff's supposed to happen. People want the site burnt down. They want it destroyed if it, and all the buildings where this, the bad stuff was happening to the people. You know, how's that historical site that should be, destroyed? And so, do I think every plantation was horrible? No, no. There's probably good people. I mean, every time people have been enslaved, there's been people who rise up against it. And people that weren't. That we're going to lose because of the slaves being freed. They still saw it as injustice to man. So some plantations probably were hiding places to help slaves get away. Some plantations probably were really good places. But when you see them and you know that majority of them weren't. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but it's like saying that all police are great. you know, no, most of us don't have good experience with the police. It don't matter what color you are. Most don't have a lot of great experience. But there are some awesome cops out there. I mean, I just put a video up with these cops doing this dance for this Get Up challenge, and they're hilarious. I wish I met cops like that. I would have probably a whole different viewpoint on them. But no, that's not the cops I knew. So but I'm just saying. So there's some plantations probably out there that have very little bad history to it, but I'm guessing the majority of them do have some couple hundreds of bodies buried somewhere that they shouldn't be. But regardless, there's still some beautiful plantations out there, and your grandfather, rest his soul, he actually grew up on one and lived on one for a while. And so that's the history on that side is that yeah, people would say slavery was gone and all that stuff, and in a sense it was. And again, it just depends on who you talk to. If someone's really radical, well, slavery still happens. No, if you have to go to work, your boss is your slave owner, and it just depends on viewpoints. But when it comes to official slavery in America, it happened on plantations, and your grandfather he grew up on one. So there's your heritage in a nutshell. You have a little bit of Japanese. One of your biological grandparents, that Romeo, he actually held you, so you were held by a person who actually grew up on a plantation. I have the pictures. It's kind of cool. And like I say, you're a little bit. Both of you got a little bit of Japanese in you. Um, and you know, I grew up poor. Everybody in my family pretty much grew up poor at some point. My dad, your grandfather, probably was the most successful. He went to military, did 11 years. Was I don't know how he left. I'm pretty sure he was getting pension military money when he passed. So I'm pretty sure he left on good terms. Um, but yeah, he was. I think he served in the Korean War because he gave me a ring, so that says Korean War on it. So I'm pretty sure he served in the Korean War. Um, I never went military. Never seen like I could. I don't think I could handle people yelling at me constantly. And the way they used to portray military when I was a kid was like, you call it maggot every 5 seconds, and you're cleaning latrines out with toothbrushes and peeling potatoes. I was like, that ain't for me. I'm sorry, I got a little bit too much going on and other possibilities. My legs, my brains. I was like, I don't need to be a grunt. Um, they didn't tell us when we were kids that if you went in with a degree, you go come out, you go as an officer. No one told us that. And that would have been appealing. I probably would have won if I knew that when I left high school. But no, I was not. No, I ain't. I ain't scrubbing toilets for nobody. No toothbrush. It ain't happen. I'll scrub it with a regular brush, but not a toothbrush. Not my own, especially. Uh, but so yeah, I never went military. I said I got my degrees instead, and it took a long time. I didn't go a straight path. I wish I would have. Wish I could have. Um, while I was great in track, like I told you, I did not get scholarship offers because I was a fifth year senior. I was a fifth year senior who never failed a class. It was because we moved around a lot, and this is before the internet, so I lost my grades, and no one told me. I didn't find out I was gonna be a fifth year senior until I was second semester junior. I get called down to the office, and hey, you know what? You're not graduating on time. I'm like, why? I've never failed a class. Oh, well, we never got your transcripts from wherever you were at the first semester, freshman year. I'm like, I was in Oklahoma City, Northwest Class, and check it out. Oh, no, we'll look into it. And they never found nothing, got a hold of them, whatever. And I guess Northwest Class said I wasn't there long enough, or I don't know all the details. And it's been such a long time, but I became a fifth year senior who never felt a single class. I never felt a class until only actually the only class I've ever felt in from K all the way up to my master's degree was foreign language. That's it. Spanish. That's it. So yeah, your daddies cannot. He can come on as como está. That's about all I can do. Como está? No hablo español. I know that one for sure. I had to learn that one. That's the first. No hablo español. But I had to learn that one. Um, but yeah, so your heritage is not super fancy or nothing like that, but you do got a little bit Japanese in you. I guess my mom's supposed to have a little bit, your grandma's supposed to have a little bit Indian in her, but she never talks about that. So I don't know if that's true or not. I think I've heard like once in passing or something. Same for your grandfather on, uh, yeah, my grandfather. So yeah, not your great grandfather. Great grandfather has Japanese. Your grandfather, the military guy was talking about the little plantation. He's has Native American in him, but which one I don't know. I actually got a pretty cool picture. If you remind me, I'll try to save it online so I don't lose it. Of your great grandfather, great grandmother. It's a Cherokee. I think it's Cherokee picture. So there might be Cherokee ways. It's a tribal picture. So this picture is from like way back in the day with the black camera, the flash cameras where they had to set it up for like 20 minutes. You had to sit still for 20 minutes while they put the little cloth over their head and get it wound up and pull this big old flash bulb and yeah, trust me, it took like 20 minutes to take this picture probably just to take one picture, but it looks pretty cool. You can see the strong um, native heritage in her pictures and stuff. So and they're old pictures. Yeah. Anyways, well, I'm gonna get going. It's 17 minutes right now, and it's been going for. But yeah, I'm just happy that I can still do this every single day. Some days I kind of wonder what I'm going to talk about, but I always find something because I love you boys that much, and I miss you. Hasn't been a day that I haven't thought about you guys, and I wish you were here. But like I keep telling people, it's God's plan. Right now, at this very moment, I think it would be more difficult for all of us if you were physically here. I'm still trying to get certain things established. Things are working out amazingly like they were supposed to, which is just kind of creepy and good at the same time. But um, right now, I would make it happen. I'd make it work if I could, no matter what. But things happen for a reason. So learn to be patient, boys. Daddy's learned that the hard way. All right, love you guys, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.